Marquinhos for 40 million is bullshit, right? I mean, it doesn't really make sense. Uh, so first of all, we are looking at the possibility that Mascherano is leaving. Okay, so right now, it will be decided by the end of this week, at best by the end of the other week. You know, when Copa America has already started and it's been underway. But right now, what is the situation with Mascherano? Does he want to leave? Does he want to leave the club? Is he pissed? Does he want more money? No. But remember, he did do that deal he did with the Spanish justice system, where he would say he was responsible for the tax evasion thing. And well, after he's done that, he's literally on probation. So he would have to spend every single day worrying about, having any minor incident happen with him, like a car crash or, a speeding ticket, something like that. And that could potentially land him on jail. That's his thing. And this information came from Veronica Brunati. Yet again, the journalist that is great with Argentines, and it makes sense. The guy has a family, he has kids, he has a wife, so he wouldn't risk his safety and the safety of his family to stay in a country that, even though the mistake wasn't like his, because he's actually suing the people who used to manage his life as an athlete. But he has better options. He has Juventus, who is going to pay him well, and he won't have the same legal issues. Okay. So nowadays, I'm only recording the second episode because today was the first time we heard from someone reliable about who are the center back targets the club is following. And right now, Gerard Romero has said that the club is willing to spend up to 40 million euros on Marquinhos. Okay? So before we talk about Marquinhos himself, we have to talk about what Mascherano brings to our team, what are his strengths and what are his weaknesses. Okay? So what are Mascherano's biggest strengths to the team? His long passes. I mean, he averages 7.7 passes per game, long passes. So we use them a lot, especially on the game against Granada when we won the league, the last one, and he gave that long 40, 35 meter pass to Alves, who then squared it off to Suarez to basically win us the league. And so that's a huge difference. Mascherano is like actually the number one in Europe when it comes to that. His long passes as a CB, he just makes them lots of them during the matches. So that's big. Besides that, Mascherano has pace. He's a pacey center back because we have the classic profile. Piqué is the one who is good with passes. He makes the defensive transition. He's better in the air, but he's lower and he cannot cover. Okay, so that's why when people tell me, "Hey, why do you hate Mathieu? Why do you keep talking about Mathieu? He's our fastest player." He isn't our fastest player because when you put a person to run 100-meter dash or 50 or 80 or 30, doesn't matter, you can't measure that and think you'll be able to do the same during the game, because Mathieu may be the fastest player we have on a 100-meter dash or 30 or whatever, but his ability to read what's going on, to read the play, and then start running, to recover, is weak. He can't properly see. He can't properly anticipate what the attackers are doing. So usually his speed is useless because his brain is low, so it doesn't matter. Okay, that's my thing with Mathieu. Mascherano doesn't have that. He's fast and he knows how to read them. So usually he's saving us with his great tackles. Okay. And other stuff, his other strengths he has is he's also great at tackles. He's a strong tackler, and these 2 points here have more to do with our style. So he is able to make several passes per game because our style, uh, has asked that of him. So he makes a lot of them and he gets most of them right. Okay, be them short or long. That's the difference. Okay. Now, what are Mascherano's weaknesses? As I told you, Piqué is the one who's supposed to be good in the air. So Mascherano is really poor in the air. Okay, he's not good. And we have seen, not this season, it hasn't happened as often, but on past seasons, he has been guilty of us conceding or having troubles, especially against Real Madrid. It's been an issue. He's not very strong on clearances, okay? And he's easily dribble past. You can see when Piqué is one-on-one against a player, usually Piqué wins and Mascherano isn't as safe, when he has to be on a one-on-one situation and stop someone. He isn't his strength. And okay, now we know Mascherano's position, Mascherano's strengths, and Mascherano's weaknesses. Let's talk about Marquinhos then, okay? So, what does Marquinhos have that are similar traits to Mascherano? He's fast, he's young, so he's fast, he's a pacey center back. He's a great passer, short passes. He has like a very high pass percentage completion, okay? And he has that awareness that someone like Mathieu doesn't have, okay? So he's fast and he knows when to start running before he's caught by the attackers. This is good, okay? But the main thing Mascherano gives us that are the man passes, the long balls, the long passes, Marquinhos is extremely weak at it. He cannot do it. I mean, his game is like he focuses on giving short passes, backwards or sideways passes, so that the CDMs, the DMs are able to, the defensive midfielders are able to make those passes, okay? So Marquinhos does not add the one thing that Mascherano is like the best at, okay? The long balls to help us distribute our game, and when things are being really pressed and hard, Mascherano gives us this chance to move forward, like the example I gave you regarding the Granada match, okay? And so that's one difference that's hard to talk, because those passes help us, and even though Marquinhos is he's fast, he's not strong at all. You can see the kid is really, really skinny. So you want to try to replace Mascherano, who is really like attackers fear Mascherano because he's going to be tough on you. He's going to like get to you fast and is going to get to you harsh. So there's that. And when you think of it, if you are talking about replacing Mascherano, we would try to look at a player that offers the same strengths that he offers, but also tries to improve on the weaknesses that he has, right? So let's just look at a few names here. So long balls, Mascherano is number 1 in Europe, okay? 7.7 long balls, correct long balls per game. But what are the players that come close to it? If you check on who scored, that's where I get my stats. Mustafi, Stones, and Koulibaly. Those are the players that they're not nearly as good as Mascherano, but they keep their long balls on the 5 or 4 long balls per match range. Then you have the passing percentage. Marquinhos is one of them, but also Stones and Christensen, Andreas Christensen from Borussia Mönchengladbach. Then you have passes per game. That has more to do with the style the team is playing than to the center back himself. So Koulibaly from Napoli. Napoli is a team that keeps the ball a lot. He makes several passes per game. Marquinhos is also one of them. he makes several passes per game because PSG plays like that. And again, Andreas Christensen from Mönchengladbach. Tackles per game. Now, here's where both Mustafi and Koulibaly would improve, because they are able to, they are the best tacklers, CBs, even more than Mascherano. And regarding the falls, Mascherano is a player, he doesn't really make a lot of falls, and here I have to give a compliment to Marquinhos. Marquinhos actually is on the same range as Mascherano. He doesn't fall a lot, and he's also a very disciplined player. He usually gets booked. He has received just a few yellow cards, so that helps. But regarding falls, there are two players that make even less falls during matches, and these two are Stones and again Andreas Christensen. Okay. Now, when we are talking about the weaknesses Mascherano has, the main one is the aerial. Okay, on the air, Mascherano isn't good. That his height, he's not a tall guy. He's even actually shorter than me. I'm 175 centimeters, he's 174. So what are the players that are best in the air right now? The center backs. You have Jonathan Tah. Again, you have Mustafi from Valencia. And again, Andreas Christensen. And yet again, Koulibaly. Clearances, Mascherano. I mean, clearances is something that we don't usually should care much for Barcelona because we don't hoof it. We usually just like to get the ball to Busquets and the other midfields and get moving forward. But it's a defensive trait, so we're talking about it. And again, Mustafi, Andreas Christensen, and Jonathan Tah are better at clearances than Mascherano. And now there's the final weakness Mascherano presents, and is the same as Marquinhos. They have very similar numbers, stats on this equation. That is the amount of times they are dribble passed during a match. Both him and Marquinhos are dribble passed around 0.8 or 0.7 times in a match. Which means that at average they are dribble passed once in every single match they play. Okay, and then you have two players that have better numbers than them. That is Christensen and Koulibaly. Yet again. So yeah, this is what I had to talk about Mascherano and talk about Marquinhos. His price is absurd, okay, because he lacks what it takes to replace Mascherano. 40 million euros to a guy who is not a starter at PSG. He just is, he's at the bench to replace David Luiz. I know because Blanc isn't a very good coach. I know that, but still. He's unproven, and for 40 million euros we could buy Mustafi. That if you check the stats and if you just listen to what I said, he would give us a lot of the stuff that Mascherano gives us, especially the long balls and the security defense and aerial traits. Koulibaly will also be a great target, and if you think about it, it is possible for us to buy both of them. Both Mustafi and Koulibaly for the 40 million euro price tag that Marquinhos has on, and that's the thing, I don't think we should spend that much money on a player that does not properly replace or even would add a lot of traits to our defense setup, So yeah, that's what I had to say about Mascherano leaving, this Marquinhos rumor, and the other CB options I would consider. Okay, so I made a YouTube playlist of the center back targets that I think would fit us best. I would add that to the description. And remember my first video I talked about as I was leaving to play football for the first time in 15 years. Well, this is the result right here. I actually ruptured my pinky finger on my right hand, and I'm a righty, so I had to have surgery. The guy sliced open my finger. The tendon was in the middle of my hand. I had to pull it back and anchor it with something. So I'm on this awful cast. I can't sleep. It's been shitty days with this, and well, A lesson of humility. The match was about to end, the guy was about to outpace me. I said fuck it, so I decided to grab his vest, and that's when I ruptured my tendon. So yeah, better luck next time, right? So, if you like this video or like the first one, please subscribe. I will keep trying to do them as often as I can when the subject is, decent enough for me to talk about. So, thank you. See you around.